1997 Coon Rapids Parade. Kind of a cool night for a parade. It seems like last year we had the same kind of weather, a little bit cool, but a lot of people are here to enjoy the parade.
Right, and they are certainly dressed for the parade today. They've got coats, they've got sweatshirts, and they've got blankets if all else fails. And all we can hope now is that the rain holds off until the parade goes by.
Well, luckily a couple days ago we had the severe weather move through here. Luckily that wasn't here to dampen this parade today. It looks like hopefully the rain will hold off, as you said, and we can get through the parade.
Right, and as always, the parade is the kickoff of the three-day carnival event in Coon Rapids, the 4th of July celebration, and so it's always a very festive occasion.
Should be a lot of fun. We have quite a few units coming through here. Up first now is the police squad car here behind us, if we can pan off and see in the distance what's coming, and the Legion Color Guard is coming after that.
As we say, the weather is a little bit chilly, but nonetheless, it is not spoiling the mood of the people here at the parade. A lot of people on the sidelines watching. Some of them came as early as 5:30 to get a seat, so they would have a good place curbside to watch this lovely parade. All in all, there's about 60 units in the parade, some from far away as Forest Lake again, and a lot of returns from last year, a lot of familiar faces, and a lot of familiar floats. And I understand that the Coon Rapids float this year is going to be a new one, Steve, and I'm looking forward to that.
Coming up here, we have the 10th District Commander, Jeff Perkins. Riding along in the car is the 10th District Commander, Jim Copper, and President Linda Thompson here, waving to the crowd that's lined up here. A lot of people out here. We're expecting about 60 or so units in tonight's parade, so it should be a lot of fun. Parades always are. Like we said, we got nice, cool weather. It feels like parade weather for tonight. Marching bands are always a common thing in these parades.
Steve, they're the ones that lend the festive air and the festive music to it, I think. I always love a marching band. I think I tell you that every year, but every year I mean it just as much.
Yes, it is a lot of fun. Coming up is the Coon Rapids High School Marching Band. Color Guard leading here. So we pan down, you can see the parade. They're already getting some applause from the crowd.
This year the Marching Cardinals are using music from Star Wars. And last season their band won the Outstanding Pride and Spirit Award at the Eden Prairie Marching Band Festival. They're under the direction of Mr. Paul Booty. Wind instructor is Jim Bennett. Percussion instructor is Chris Hanks. And the Color Guard instructor is Kelly Applegate. Marching band.
Certainly getting a round of applause, and they definitely deserve that. The long bus to haul all their stuff. See parents inside. Their parents are a big part of these bands. They definitely help and support the kids throughout the years that they're in the high school band.
And it is a commitment. When you do something like this, it takes up a lot of your summer time. So our congratulations to the Coon Rapids Marching High School Band.
That's right. Coming up next here is the Grand Marshal of tonight's parade. It's Raylan Story from KSTP Channel 5. She is Eyewitness News morning anchor and reporter, riding along here in a car. It was supposed to be Rusty Gatenby, but apparently he had other commitments today that he had to go to. So Raylan is here filling in, doing a good job.
As always.
As usual, we have the celebrities seem to be the TV personnel and all that in the Twin Cities.
Well, they're well
certainly
known.
busy.
People do recognize them.
Right.
Coming up here, we see on the screen is the new Coon Rapids float. All beautifully done. It's newly remodeled and it's designed to represent the spirit of Coon Rapids. The float is draped in, red metallic, floral sheeting with silver metallic trim and accented with playful raccoons. And of course, there you see the Coon Rapids royalty with the raccoon. Tiny Tot, Miss Coon Rapids, Kristen Johnston. And of course,
to the YMCA, a lot of people familiar with that tune. Coming up is the Miss Coon Rapids Scholarship Pageant. A couple more people in this truck here that you see. And we're moving along, it looks like, to the mayor.
Mayor Bill Thompson and his wife Shirley Bresee coming up here. Has been the mayor of Coon Rapids in his second or third terms. And again, as always, for the kiddies, they're throwing candy.
They have a lot of fun trying to get the candy. And directly behind them we have Tim Howe, who is the Ward 1 council member, and Jerry Newton is riding along in the car there, and he is the council member for Ward 2. Usually in the parade, some familiar faces. And they are throwing candy as well.
Picture now, we should see Dave Saunders and Ron Gageby. Both of these are also council members. Ron Gageby is council member at large, and Dave Saunders is from Ward 4. The car is driven by Norm Riska. Are you ready?
We tried, can't catch the candy. Moving up next is Luther for Congress.
Luther represents the 6th District of Minnesota, which includes, of course, Coon Rapids. He was first elected in 1994.
Moving up next, we have the Animal In Drill Team. They are back again this year. The Animal Drill Team is a dog obedience demonstration unit made up of volunteers of all ages, walks of life, and their dogs. All the dogs are owner-handled and owner-trained at the Animal In training centers located in Lake Elmo, Egan, and Golden Valley. The team includes many different breeds of dogs, as well as great American mixed breed dogs. The team has been performing in parades for many years. In addition to their many parades each year, the team participates in many obedience demonstrations at the public service events, such as the University of Minnesota Veterinary Medicine Open House, the Midwest Pet Fair, and you can catch them at the Minnesota State Fair. Lots of cute dogs out there.
Absolutely.
Very obedient. I mean, that's what they train them to do, and they certainly look like they listen.
And many, many different breeds of dog represented here.
We're going to give you a quick little demonstration of obedience stuff here. First, we're going to do some healing. Everybody likes the dogs. They heal to the side. Hey, turn in. Come for. Everybody likes to teach your dogs to come when they're called. And finish. And we also like to teach that dog to stand still when a stranger walks up to them. Team forward. About turn. And stand your dog. Stand your dog.
Steve, it just goes to show you when you watch these dogs is that any breed, any size, any kind, any color, they're all trainable.
They are. A lot of homeowners, I'm sure, around here in Coon Rapids, and like you said, many different breeds. Certainly, they're all lovable.
Full courses in confirmation, agility, obedience, field training, tracking, and level racing. Ready. Forward and return.
And of course, they receive a round of applause, which they very richly deserve.
Stuff like this when your dog gives us a call. If you
We are looking at the 1997 4th of July Parade in Coon Rapids, sponsored by the Lions. They are the ones who organize this, so get it all together. And from what I understand from the organizers here, Tim Farmer, that it is quite a chore to get it all together and moving on a smooth path.
Well, it certainly is to coordinate all these units and to get this whole parade lined up and in order. Even as we see here, a couple minutes before we went on the air, getting last-minute changes and additions. So they work right up to the moment of the parade, getting it all lined up and properly on the street here for the citizens to view.
And speaking of the Lions, we have past President Carl Lind and his wife Sandy, and Lion President Mike Stack. The driver of the horse is Paul Okran, and the horses Margaret and Marilyn. And of course they are from Bunker Hills.
Coming up next here, I believe we have the Lioness following them. Seems proper that they would follow. About 20 participants or so are expected to be here tonight on this float. Looks like they got at least half that, if not more, to turn out here, and they are again throwing candy to the crowd.
Very, very, very nice auxiliary unit. And of course they're followed by the Mississippi Service Unit of Girl Scouts. And they are out in strong numbers marching. Becky Anderson and Mary Ann Paul are their director, managers, leaders. And you know, Steve, there are 60 of the girls marching here tonight.
A lot, like we said, turned out, and a lot of parents turned out. Probably the driving horse behind several of them. Coming up next here is the FAST PACE car. FAST stands for the Fire Awareness Safety Team. PACE stands for Parent and Child Education. Now, the FAST car is a 1991 two-door car that was donated by Saturn of St. Paul and has been painted to look like a race car. Along with having decals that have to do with racing, it has fire prevention and safety messages and sponsorship logos. This car will be used as a hook, so to speak, at public education events such as parades, as you see here, civic functions, schools, and a state fair.
Coming up on our screen there, we see the King and the Queen of Park River Estates, and it's always nice to see. Always nice to see that they honor the elderly as well as the young people.
You can see some of the crowd lined up on the street here to get a view of the parade. They brought their lawn chairs out, camp out early. They usually get here anywhere between an hour and a half before the parade just to get seats. This event's been going on for now about 4 or 5 years we've had the parade here.
At least.
And it seems like it's getting bigger every year. The weather does not seem to hold back anybody.
And the crowds, there's more crowds all the time, as well as more units in the parade.
That's right. Moving up next here, we have the unicycle team of Minnesota. They've been in existence for several years. The team includes members from age 7 to 17, with most of the riders being in elementary school, playing some music here. A lot of the floats have music in the parade. Their main purpose of the club is to develop good and positive values in young people. Learning the sport, Dorothy, of unicycling takes hard work and persistence, which teaches a sense of teamwork and self-confidence in these youngsters. And some big bikes. It's amazing how they're able to stay on them, but I suppose a lot of training goes into being able to do that.
A lot of balance. But it certainly does look like fun, doesn't it?
Right. Directly behind them, we have the Target Cart Brigade coming up here. Many of you are familiar with those shopping carts.
I don't think anybody is not familiar with those.
You're right. With their Target team members and their families, also passing out candy to the crowd here.
There is Representative Loanne Koskinen from District 49B, and she's driven by her daughter Kiki, and with two of her grandchildren, Chessie and Miller. Steve, after the parade, everybody will be getting over to the park, enjoying the carnival, the rides, the food, the music. There's entertainment every night. And of course, a lot of fireworks like we have every year. Every year, those get bigger and better also.
Last year now, they got rained out,
well,
so hopefully things will go off this year. We'll cross our fingers for that, but hope the weather's looking good for the 4th of July, so we should get those fireworks in. Coming up next, we have Cub Scout Pack 413 and 518.
Southwest Junior High Marching Band from Forest Lake. And they are under the direction of Philip Rayan. They have marched at the Earl Brown Days, Manitou Days, and of course they are a staple here every year at the Coon Rapids 4th of July Parade.
Take a listen to the band now as they protest.
150 members strong.
Lots of hard work they put in practicing after school, throughout the weeks getting ready for parades and things of that nature.
Got to give the kids a lot of credit. They do a good job. Here we come with the North Hudson Pepper Festival royalty in a beautiful Italian-colored float, but Italian is the heritage that they celebrate at their days, which, by the way, is August 15th, 16th, and 17th this year, and that's the North Hudson Pepper Festival. And we have King Dan Barber, Queen Karen Sorensen, Princess Stacy Haraldson, Princess Kimberly Tritt, and Princess Krista Whitton.
Waving to the crowd. You would think their hands would be tired by the end of the parade from all the waving they do along the parade route here. We should mention this parade, if you don't know already, runs in front of, down Northdale Boulevard in front of Sand Creek Park, winds its way out of the park, goes north on Kumquat, and then winds its way west on Northdale back into the park. So if you didn't get out to see it this year, come back down in 1998. It should be a lot of fun. Coming up next, we have Camellia Rose here. Camellia Rose is a skilled nursing facility, and they are celebrating 20 years of service, Dorothy, this year. The Camellia Club is an adult day program at Camellia Rose Rehabilitation. Center for Therapy. Throwing candy to the crowd.
You notice, Steve, a lot of the participants in the parade tonight are also dressed for the cooler weather.
See some of the participants bundle up in coats here, but they're still making their way down the parade route. Look like they're having a lot of fun.
The Greater Twin City St. Bernard Club is what we're seeing now. This group was established over 25 years ago to promote the well-being of the noble breed of St. Bernards. They say they strive to keep their size and their eradicate health and temperament problems through education, controlled breeding, and training.
Big dogs.
Big, beautiful dogs. I even saw one there with a traditional brandy barrel around his neck.
They look like they're liking all the attention here.
They took third place, Steve, at the Anoka Halloween Parade in 1992. And in 1994, they took third. And again, in 1993, they took second place at the Winter Carnival Parade.
As you can see, a lot of people having fun out on the sidelines there, getting ready for the next unit, which is a sub, Dorothy. This is from Cousin Subs. This is a new addition to the parade this year. I don't think I've seen this in previous years.
Does it kind of make you hungry, Steve? Have you had supper yet?
Oh, I wonder if they're throwing free subs, as you mentioned earlier, out to the crowd here.
I can hear our cameraman saying over our headset, he's hungry, he's ready to eat.
I'm sure a lot of people are, and they'll be heading down to the park afterwards to get that midway food, hit some rides, play some bingo, and just have a good old time here to celebrate the 4th of July.
Coming up next on our screen, we're going to see our
Gross Line beverages. They're here every year.
beverage They're every year here. They always are a part of the community. They have their warehouses in Anoka, but they take part in all the community parades around here. They've been in business for 70 years, and this was the truck that they used to deliver soft drinks and near beer during the Prohibition days.
Really old. Do you remember this?
Do I remember this?
Do you remember this?
No, I don't remember Prohibition days.
A little before your time.
I don't. My time. Beautifully kept truck though, isn't it?
It is. Moving up next here is Fancy Dancin', a little dancing going on here on the streets of Northdale Boulevard. They are located at the Northdale Center. They teach tap, ballet, jazz, and aerobatics. They took first place national winners in many categories. Open house registration is going to be August 13th through the 16th, and classes will begin in September. Dorothy, the YMCA again. You can't say this isn't a popular song.
Well, it's very easy.
They got a little extra moves in between the YMCA part.
Well, they are a dancing group.
A couple kids on rollerblades in front of them. Let's just take a listen as they come by here.
Look at the smiles on their face. Steve, you'll notice tonight the parade is moving along at a really good pace. There doesn't seem to be any lulls or any
It doesn't.
stops along the way.
In fact, we're about halfway through the parade right now. Again, you're watching the 1997 Coon Rapids Parade here on CTN Channel 15. Thanks for tuning in. We do appreciate it. We do tape the parade every year in case you're not able to get out here, so you're able to watch it afterwards. Of course, people in the parade want to tune in afterwards to see what they look like during the parade.
That's true. They like to see themselves in the parade. This again is a big kickoff towards the 3-day holiday celebration, which is in the Sand Creek Park, with lots of rides, games, bingo, entertainment. It's a fun time for the whole family.
Coming up next is the Coon Rapids Park and Recreation Commission.
And they're under the direction of Lowell Lubeck. This is their park float, and on the park we have commission members. There's Chairman Tim Arnson, Jen Sand. Do a terrific job with all the parks we have in Coon Rapids.
They do. We have so many parks for people to enjoy, and a lot of people do get out and certainly take use of them, especially in the summer. On nice weekends, you drive by a lot of parks, and they are just filled with people and cars, and we're getting some candy thrown right at us here.
They keep trying. We got to be a little better at catching it,
We're going to have to bring nets or something next year. I don't know. Coming up next is the North Metro Cadets, directed by Mark Gamm. The North Metro Cadets were formed in August of 1996. This is their first summer marching season, so they are thrilled to be included in this parade. They've done field show competitions and marched in Christmas Parade of the North in Duluth. They're proud to say they won first place in all 10 of their regular season competitions and first place in their division in the state competition in Burnsville. A lot of devoted parents help with this. This is a band members formed from 8th to 12th graders, from middle schools, private schools, alternate schools, and schools out of their district, as well as from our local high schools. Let's take a listen to the band here. Jurassic Park. And I should say the cadets are sponsored in part by the Coon Rapids Lions and American Legion Post, and they're based right here in Coon Rapids.
Following that, we see the Paw Shop. Again, we have some canine units here, looking great. Lots of different breeds of dogs. And the Anoka County Civil Air Patrol.
You got the color guard there, you can see on your screen.
Plaza van. That's a float or an entry that we have every year, and they are located in Ilka, serving the seniors, always doing a good job.
They have a lift for wheelchairs.
It's a 17-passenger van, actually.
Right,
yes.
it's a senior retirement building. Walker Plaza is a senior retirement building in Anoka. And they offer assisted living rooms and services. They've been open for 7 years, and we got some bikers coming up.
Right. These are the people from Rabines. BMX racing is a great sport for the entire family. Kids from 4 years to parents at 55 years. Young race BMX. There's even a class for girls, which is unusual, I guess.
But they like to get involved in these things too, and certainly look like they're all having a lot of fun. Coming up behind them, we're going to see some more princes and princesses coming up. This is South St. Paul Kaposia Days. I believe that's how you say it.
I believe that. You know, Steve, I've been meaning to call down there, and I have called a couple times to find out what exactly Kaposia stands for. I haven't gotten an answer yet, so one of these years we'll find out and we'll let people know.
Right, and they just recently crowned their royalty on June 28th. Their celebration is from June 27th through 29th, so just a couple days past here. And they are also celebrating their 22nd anniversary this year.
In your picture there, you see the Rise van. Rise has been serving the community for many years and are still a very viable force in our community, and it's nice to see them represented in the parade.
Yeah, I'm just amazed as I look down the street here. There are just people packed on the sidewalks here in the street getting a view of this. You know, they're in some areas they're 10, 12, 15 people deep, and this route I would guess goes about a total of a mile or over a mile from the beginning to the end, at least a mile. So
we know there are a lot of
thousands and thousands of people out here tonight. Coming up next is a Buffalo royalty. On board, I believe, is a queen and a princess. Their celebration dates are from June 8th through June 15th. Certainly a lot of celebrations during the summer, and Dorothy, the one good thing is that not everybody celebrates their celebration on the 4th of July. They're spread out throughout the entire month of June, July, and August, so you can participate in many different festivities throughout the Twin Cities and greater Minnesota.
You know, I think the small town celebrations are coming back again. Each community takes pride in what they represent and what they do, and it's nice to see that. And like I said, every weekend you could be somewhere celebrating something with somebody in the cities. Coming up next, we have the Wellness Van. And of course, they're in the parade every year. They're staffed by 3 members from the Cardiac Center of Wellness Project. They've been serving since June of 1990. Cardiac Center's Wellness Screening Van. Just as a little lull in the parade, is this a good time to take a break, Steve?
It is. You can see the crowd there. We're going to take a break. Champlain Park's coming up. We'll be back with the Champlain Park Marching Rebels right after this. Stay with us.
Only you
can prevent forest fire.
And it's true. We know we can count on you to do what Rocky says.
drown your campfires with water. Make sure it's totally wet. Then stir and drown again.
We know we can count on you to do what Rocky says.
Only you can prevent forest fires.
Welcome back, everyone, to the 1997 Coon Rapids 4th of July Parade. As we said, Champlain Park is approaching us here, and they got a big band here, big color guard and a big unit.
150 participants in this band.
Stephen Lyons is our director. The Marching Rebels rehearse outside of the school day and perform in 9 parades this past summer, as well as numerous parades and field shows this fall. They've had different honors anywhere from the Grand Champions in the Anoka Halloween Parade for 4 years, Blaine's Blazin' Forth for 3 years, the 1996 Minnesota State Fair they took 2nd place, and Grand Champions at the 1996 Maple Grove Parade. Tonight's music contains selections from West Side Story, including Tonight, Cool, and America. And we're going to take a listen to their performance as they approach us here.
What an excellent marching unit. They do a great job.
It's nice to have a variety in the bands. People are able to see everything. You know, everyone doesn't want to play one instrument. You certainly find people to fill those spots and do a good job.
Sharp looking uniforms too, dressed in the navy blue and white.
That's right. So the Coon Rapids 4th of July celebration here in Coon Rapids. You're watching the 1997 parade. It's been a lot of fun so far. The weather is kind of cool. People are bundled up, but I think if they brought coats and blankets, I think it's okay out here. Northeast State Bank is just passing us, and right behind them is Waite Park. Spastag Royalty. Their celebration is June 8th through the 14th. And Waite Park is a city on the move. Their centennial year is 1893 to 1993. Their festival is in their 33rd year. On board there you can see Queen Nikki Schreffler, and Jennifer Deering is also riding on board, waving to the crowd.
Making all that noise in the background and behind the Waite Park float is the Coon Rapids Fire Department. Riding in Rescue 1 is Chuck Murray along with his wife Joy, son Kyle, who's 2.5, and his niece Melanie Engstrom, who's 2. Chuck has been a paid on-call member of the Coon Rapids Fire Department for approximately 3 years.
Right in front of that grass one, it already passed us right in front there in the bottom right corner of your screen. You can see Ron Hansen's been on the fire department for 1 year as a paid on-call firefighter, and his 10-year-old daughter Kelly is riding along with him. One of the biggest ones back there I think is making a lot of noise is Engine 3. It's a 1993 Pierce Lance pumper with a 50-foot telesquirt. It has a 1,500 gallons per minute water pump and a 500-gallon poly water tank. It has AB foam capabilities. The telesquirt can be operated by remote control. Really kind of a nifty engine. It does help out, especially on those bigger calls where they need to stick the ladder higher in the air. They certainly can do that with the telesquirt pump. And we tried that out a couple of years ago, and it really was really nice.
They do make noise.
They do. We hope you can still hear us at home. Riding on that pumper truck that's just passing is volunteer firefighter of 9 years, Craig Borkard, passenger's wife Donna, son Aaron, friend Brandon, and Mary Hansen, wife of volunteer firefighter Ron Hansen. Certainly making a lot of noise, Dorothy.
Coming up in your screen,
Tanker 1 just passed us there. Todd Williams from the fire department's on there. Been for 3 years and also a paid on-call member.
and there we see on our screen now is what we affectionately call the bread truck. It is a utility vehicle, and it's driven by John Flick and Heather Burkhart, 2-year paid on-call firefighter.
They really don't serve bread on that.
No, they don't. It looks like it. They also have the rescue boat behind it. It's a tactical support vehicle that carries specialized equipment for water and ice rescue, high-angle rescue, confined space rescue, and trench rescue.
There's a lot of good rescue work. It's helped in a couple cases. Past us, actually just coming up here, is a Circle of Friends, I believe, presented by First Baptist Church of Coon Rapids. Their pastor is David Johnston. And a lot of kids on board here. Their theme is Cowboy Ranch. They had a very exciting Bible school that just got done June 23rd to the 27th, and this is their 2nd year. You just missed your chance at candy, Dorothy.
I have to get a little better at catching it, I guess.
That's okay, the kids come scurrying right away and pick it up. Looks like a lion coming up next.
We have the Lincoln Community School Student Council. There's the Lincoln Lion, and the student councils are on, council members are on that truck. The student council has been in existence for 4 years. This year, the council sponsored a flood relief collection.
And just behind them, as we pan some of the crowd there with some candy being thrown across the street, is the Coon Rapids VFW Poppy Float. Shield, Uncle Sam, and Firecracker are all decorated with poppies, and also Uncle Sam is standing on a bed of poppies.
Is this a patriotic-looking float or what? Absolutely red, white, and blue. All the flags on it, wonderful.
Now this is really Uncle Sam here.
This is really, well, a statue of.
This is the Uncle Sam. Says buy Buddy Poppies and help our veterans in hospitals and nursing homes. And every year in May they do sell poppies. A lot of people buy them. Looks like McDonald's, the Hamburglar, as you can see there. A lot of people are familiar with him, and of course McDonald's. We got some more princesses, this is Miss Minnesota.
Amanda Anderson, Miss Minnesota National Teenager, she is.
Teenager.
Beautiful smile and a nice wave.
And Minnesota USA National Tiny Tot was aboard that float also.
And they're followed by the Aqua Jesters.
We got some clowns here, some with bubbles, and this one looks like there's a snake in the box here. The crowd always has a lot of fun with the clowns in the parade.
Something from Ollie's Pest Control. The label got torn off.
They're looking for an owner of something from Ollie's Pest Control. I'm not sure if they'll find the person out here tonight.
Looked like a pretty real snake in there to me. The Aqua Jesters always provide a lot of fun at these parades, don't they?
I guess there are new volunteers, they say, from the fire department. Coming up next, I believe this is the Chopstick Percussion band here. Chops is comprised of 2 award-winning groups, the Chopstick Percussion and Top Chops Brass Line. The 2 groups perform separately, giving special attention to percussion and brass, and together for a powerful driving experience. Let's take a listen.
drums or no other instruments, but they do a good job.
Coming up next from the Minneapolis Aquatennial, we have the Aquatennial Princess, Sarah Ledoux, Vice Commodore Dr. Leanne Herbert, and her husband, Mark Thielman. The 10 best days of summer, they call it, July 18th through the 20th. The Aquatennial began in 1940 and is now in its 58th year. So that celebration coming up, I'm sure a lot of people will be attending that. I believe coming up next year we have the Mad Float, and, a mangled car here. I'm guessing showing the effects that drunk driving can have, the devastating damage it can have when people get into car accidents. Certainly very graphic, but I'm assuming that that's the point, to get the message across to the audience.
I think you're right there, Steve. They are an organization that does well to get the message across that drinking and driving just do not mix.
That's right. I guess 3 persons were killed in that white Toyota when a speeding drunk driver hit the car broadside. The driver of the van that struck the car is now in prison for 6 years. 1 person was killed on the motorcycle last July 4th when a drunk driver pulled out from an intersection from the front of the motorcycle. So their message, definitely don't drink and drive this holiday weekend. Get a designated driver. Ready Mix truck here that just passed us. Coming up, it looks like we have some more kids on bikes. Riding around, waving to the crowd, having a good time.
In the background, we can hear the Chopsticks All Percussion Marching Unit coming up.
Yes, this is Chopsticks. The group you saw before was the other part of that.
That was all brass. This is all percussion.
As always, they have a performance that goes along with their routine, and last year they were down in Sand Creek Park doing some performances out in the field, attracted a huge audience. I'm not sure if they plan to do that again this year, but it's certainly fun to watch them in the parade.
This group was founded in 1991 by Mike Mayer and is under his direction. It's a 35-member marching drum line providing high-energy street entertainment by combining flashy drill and visuals with precision playing. Members come from communities throughout the Twin Cities and southern Minnesota.
You can see a lot of crowd on the street there, lined up, still with their blankets. A lot of people still here. They haven't left here. We're nearing the end of the parade. Coming up next looks like some units from Anoka County.
It's just recently established permanent service routes from the Anoka County Government Center to Northtown. And on it, you're going to see Dan Earhart and Dave McCauley, our county commissioners.
Coming up right behind that are the Anoka County Park Rangers. They do a good job patrolling the parks all around the city. On horse they patrol too, along with their vehicles. So
Wayne Thompson is their chief ranger.
Pardon?
The Rangers were formed in 1979.
like we're nearing the end of the parade. The police department is coming up. And Dorothy, it's kind of strange that we're not ending the parade with fire engines. They were in a little bit different placement this year. They were somewhere near the middle of the parade. But the police department definitely patrolling the streets, keeping the citizens of our city safe. And that's nearing the end of another parade.
Well, it was another good parade as usual. A lot of units in there, and I think the crowd really enjoyed it in spite of the cold weather.
Right, and they're dispersing now. I'm assuming a lot of them heading down to Sand Creek Park to enjoy the celebration down here. It's been another great 4th of July celebration from out here on Northdale Boulevard.
I think you're right, Steve. And for Steve Erickson, I'm Dorothy Jung. We want to thank you very much for joining us again on this 1997 4th of July parade sponsored by the Lions Club.
Thanks
Steve,
for watching.
Let's go down to the park and have a ball.
We'll head out. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.